So I know this sounds so arrogant, and that's probably why you clicked on the video, to basically ask yourself, who the fuck does this guy think he is? And I don't want you to take this in an arrogant way or as if I'm bigging myself up, but there is genuinely a problem with being a good looking guy, right? And I think a lot of you guys don't really understand this, not to call you ugly, but a lot of you guys just don't, you're not introspective enough to understand, I am actually a good looking guy. Like, you are so conditioned with negative beliefs that you genuinely believe that you are ugly. You look in the mirror and you think, no girl's ever going to want me because of this. No girl's ever going to want me because I'm 5'5". No girl's ever going to want me because of my skin colour or my teeth or whatever. You're constantly putting yourself down. You don't realise how good looking you actually are because you are used to you. You look at yourself every single day. You're used to it. It's normal to you. Whereas you might be walking down the street and a girl might think you are the most gorgeous man she's ever fucking seen in her life. Like, wow. When you are in your natural, normal, you know, you're walking down the street, you're laughing and joking with your mates, you're just being normal. You're not sitting there staring at yourself in the mirror like, oh, but what about that? You know what I mean? You're not being weird like that. That's the only time you see yourself, is when you're just standing still in front of a mirror. You don't see yourself when you're walking down the street and you're laughing and you're just being your natural, authentic self. That is when you're the most attractive. So girls might genuinely be head over heels in love with you when they see you at first sight, and you'll have no idea. Right? Now, that is kind of a bit of a side tangent, but I just wanted to throw that out there to give you a bit of hope and a bit of inspiration that you're probably just used to yourself. Stop putting yourself down with this negative self-talk and start fucking just bigging yourself up almost arrogantly. Almost arrogantly. You just got to convince yourself that, yeah, I could get any girl in this planet if I genuinely wanted to. You just may as well convince yourself of that, because why wouldn't you? Why would you set limitations on your own self? Fair enough, if a girl rejects you, then fair enough, yeah, okay, she just wasn't into me. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're just putting those limitations on yourself prior to even trying, then you're basically just hindering your performance. You're just literally shooting yourself in the foot. You're making yourself walk around with this timid body language and this shy voice. You're doing that to yourself with your own negative thinking patterns. Now, what you must understand is you are consciously in control. Bro, why does the weather have to be so dramatic every time I record videos? Wind and fucking snow and hailstorm. You are consciously in control. It's going to be another one of these dramatic ones where I shout at you. You are consciously in control of your own thoughts, so tell yourself positive ones every single fucking day. Look in the mirror and focus on the good points about yourself rather than the things that you think are ugly. Does that make sense? So now that I've got that out of the way, I want to talk to you about the topic of the video. Now, there is actually a problem of being a good-looking guy that I think some of you might understand, some of you might not, whatever, is that you get everything handed to you, wait for the wind, very, very easily, okay? When I was younger, I never used to take care of myself the way that I take care of myself now. We're just going to go and find some shelter. Fuck me. So obviously I didn't look as good as I do now, but I always had the blue eyes, you know, the brown curly hair. I had like I guess the pretty boy look always, even before I started looking after myself and started actually really caring about girls. Girls were into me. I've never had a period where I've been bad with girls in terms of actually getting them. You know, obviously I was shy and I was socially awkward and I had no confidence and I was insecure and all this kind of stuff, you know, the usual with young men. Of course, I was all of those things, but I never actually struggled with women. Oh, the sun's coming out, never mind. Because I think I'd, you know, just genetically, whatever you want to say, I always had the blue eyes, I've always had the nice brown curly hair, and girls seem to love that. That's what I've been told myself. I'm not just bigging myself up, I'm trying so hard not to sound arrogant in this video, but there's a problem with that. There's a problem of just being given something without having to work for it, you know? And this is something that hit me one day, was like, I've always had women in my life, so I've always had this belief of like, yeah, okay, I can get girls, it's easy for me. I've always had that belief. But the problem with that was, because the girls would usually just come to me, I wouldn't really have to do anything, I wouldn't really have to try, the girls would just naturally come to me. I found that I didn't have any cold approaching skills. I couldn't talk to women myself. I didn't have the confidence to go up to a girl and just speak to her. I had to just sit there and wait for her to come to me because that was all that I was used to. Now that's a problem. And I'm not going to focus solely on the point of being good looking in this video. I want to kind of broaden this out so you can learn a lot from it depending on your situation. If you are given anything in life easily without having to work for it, number one, it loses its value. So it doesn't become valuable if it's easy to get. That's why hoes are hoes and everyone can get them because they're easy. But also, number two, is you do not learn the valuable lessons needed in order to become the kind of man that you want to be. In order to become confident and truly self-sufficient and reliable on yourself, you have to go through the trials and tribulations of learning things the hard way, of having to gain something the hard way. The reason why you feel confident in yourself when you've built up a fucking hench, good-looking body and the chest is bulging through the shirt and everything. The reason why you feel confident when you walk down the street is because you've worked for that. You've had to go through the hardship and trial and error and trial and tribulations of getting that body. The reason now that I feel confident with women, and it's just very, very easy for me, not in the sense of like, oh, they all come to me, but in terms of I can go up to any girl and speak to them and genuinely just have a conversation with any girl, no matter how beautiful I think she is. I can do that with ease, with no anxiety, with no fear. The reason for that now, that I can do that confidently, is because I've worked for it. I've identified that weakness of like, oh, I'm actually just not very good at approaching girls or talking to girls because I've never had to. I've always had it given to me because they've always just come to me and made it easy for me. Right? And I think that's a problem in any area of life. It's like those kids, those rich kids that are just given money. I'm literally on a council estate. I've grown up on a council estate, rough. You know, it's a rough area and I've not really had things given to me in that sense. So when I make a lot of money in the future, it's going to be something that, number one, I can truly appreciate. But number two, I can also learn to manage much more efficiently and just genuinely enjoy it more with more confidence of like, yeah, I know how to make money because I've had to go through the trial and tribulations of learning how to make money. I've had to go through the hardship of learning, you know, sales and human psychology and all of this kind of stuff that goes into you making money online. I've had to learn that, you know, and it's the same with women. If you never speak to girls because you only do it through Tinder or you only do it through Instagram, or for example, you are a good looking guy and girls come up to you first so you never have to actually talk to them, then you are not learning the valuable lessons needed in order to be a confident guy, because you've had to go through the trial and error of learning how to talk to girls, getting rejected. You learn so much more and you gain so much more confidence and pride in yourself when you get rejected rather than when girls just keep coming to you and that's your only experience with women. Before I identified this as a weakness, I never got rejected because I never put myself out in the firing line to be rejected. I would just wait, and the girls that came to me, I would, you know, have fun with them. But other than that, no, I didn't do it. Or I just message girls on Tinder or Instagram like a little pussy. But now I do it all in the real world, and obviously I've identified that it's a weakness, so I'll actively work on it. Now when I see a girl that I think's absolutely gorgeous, I'll go and talk to her. I'll initiate it, rather than just waiting, because a lot of the time what you'll find as well is that females just don't come over to you. You know, they are literally testing you. They're testing your masculinity and your confidence to see if you come up to them. A lot of girls, especially when you get older, maybe in high school it's different and shit, and that's probably what I'm talking about here. When I was in high school, it was easy for me because the dynamics are a bit different. But as you get older, women test you. Women test you to see, okay, is this guy really about it? Is he really confident? Is he the masculine man that I'm looking for? Does he have the balls to come up to me in the gym and talk to me in front of everybody and risk rejection? Because if he does, then that's attractive. But if you just sit there in the corner waiting for her to come to you, it's never going to happen. 99% of girls will not approach you unless you're in high school or it's just a one-off and maybe she's with her friends or something and her friends tell her, yeah, go and talk to him. Sometimes that happens, and it's happened to me, but it's not a regular occurrence for you to rely on. So I think you can take the same mindset in any area of life, whether it's making money, whether it's business, whether it's, you know, fitness, whether it's talking to girls, whatever, and just understand that you always, as a masculine man, must train your mind to take the hardest option possible. Take the option that gives you the most discomfort. What would give you the most discomfort out of these two scenarios? Sitting on Tinder and messaging girls, sitting on Instagram and DMing girls, or deleting that bullshit and doing it only in the real world? What is more uncomfortable? The real world. So that's exactly what I did. I deleted all social media. I deleted all of my crutches that I was relying on, all of the things that made it easy for me to get girls, and I made it as hard as possible. Now if I want girls, I've got to literally be the kind of man that has the social skills, the confidence, the communication skills, the body language, the dress sense. I've got to smell nice, all of this kind of stuff. There is no hiding behind it. I have to literally be that guy that these girls in real life want to sleep with. Right? If I come up to a girl and I have no social skills, or I've got boring energy, or I'm miserable and negative to be around, and I'm not confident in myself, and I'm insecure, and I'm walking around with my hands in my pockets, if I'm that kind of guy, naturally she's not going to be attracted to me. So you have to learn. You'll have to literally learn the hard way. That didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, maybe I was coming across as a bit insecure, as a bit shy. Okay, let me work on that. So by putting yourself in a situation where you are forced to grow through hardship, that is where you gain true confidence. So a lot of you guys are walking around and you're thinking, oh, I go to the gym and I've got a good body and, you know, some girls are interested in me, but why am I still not confident? The reason for it is because you go home and watch porn. You go home and do things that a confident man wouldn't do. You go home and sit there on Tinder right? Stop being a bitch. Stop taking the bitch option. Start taking the option that makes you feel the most uncomfortable. That is how you grow and therefore gain true unshakable confidence. No one can say anything to me because I know myself in my all entirety. All my weaknesses, my insecurities, my strengths. I know myself because I put myself through the trial and tribulations of becoming a man that has true confidence. Because everything in my life is done the hard way. Literally everything, even down to my shower. Even my shower's this uncomfortable for me. Right? I can't even have a shower without feeling pain. That is my life. But I've done it on purpose. It gives me true confidence. It gives me that resilience. It gives me that strength of like, yeah, I'm hard to kill. No one can fuck with me. Because I make sure that every single day on a daily basis, I put myself through trial and error, through trial and tribulation to make myself that kind of man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is the problem that I found in terms of, and it sounds arrogant, but in terms of being a good-looking guy, is you don't have the necessary tribulations of learning how to actually be confident and competent with women, because it's just given to you. You've never had to learn. It's just there in front of you. Again, it's like the rich kid that has just money in his life straight away, instantly. That's all he knows. To him, money isn't valuable. Money's nothing. And he doesn't know how to make his own money either. So if for whatever reason he never has that, or that's taken away from him, which it will do in terms of like, you know, situations with women, they're not always going to approach you. As you get older, you'll find that you have to start doing the approaching. What are you going to do then? So once it's taken away from you, you're sat there with no confidence, insecure, and you have no idea how to actually make that money yourself or to get that girl yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I use that title to kind of just grab your attention a little bit. It's not me trying to be arrogant and say, look how amazing and good looking I am. I really don't give a shit. I don't even think I'm that good looking. But it's simply just to grab your attention and to inspire a deeper message within you. I don't want you to forget this, is to always take the hardest option. Train your brain to do it, even down to the little things. Right now I'm walking, it's just a fucking off-terrain, horrendous path. You know, I've got blisters on my feet and it's really not nice. I'm pretty much constantly in pain my entire life, right? But yeah, do it all the way down to the littlest things. Like, okay, I don't really feel like talking to that person as I pass them on the street, but I'm going to do it anyway. The easy option would be you to just walk down with your head down like this and just pretend you don't see them. That's the easy option. Take the hard one. Say hello, say good morning, make eye contact, give them a head nod, whatever. Do something that just makes you feel a little bit more uncomfortable than you usually would. Is that understood? The coaching's down below if you want to learn more from me on a deeper personal level. I will save your fucking life within 60 minutes of your time. Pretty worthy investment in my eyes. So with that being said, look after yourself and I'll see you soon. Bam.